In a dark cavern, a young man runs for his life. Behind him, two cloaked men, swords in hand, are in pursuit. Wondering to himself how he got in this situation, he is slashed across the back. He quickly recovers and gets ready to face his attackers. The man in the white cloak approaches, while hurling insults. "Asher, I'll be honest. I never expected you to be the one to solve this mission, Greed," Asher says mockingly, while looking down at our protagonist. "To struggle for months on end for this. Don't you think I should be rewarded for my work?" Asher agrees. Greed's reward will be death. A masked man raises his sword, preparing to execute Greed on the spot. "For months, I risked my life for this mission. To think that it ends like this. This, damn it." Satisfy, the best virtual reality game in the world. Over 2 billion unique players globally. A fantasy world so vast in content, it's considered to be another world. And in this world, many lands still sit unexplored. Northern End Cave, the deepest area within the cave. A place stacked with gear and items untouched until a user comes and discovers its wealth. 1 hour prior, "I found it," he yells with excitement. The ID of the player Greed, level 73, class warrior. What did he find? The legendary craftsman's rare book. An S-ranked quest item. Overwhelmed by his recent success, he thinks back all he had to go through. He curses the mission for all the trouble it put him through, as well as the money he lost to equipment and potions. "If I don't get paid well for this, I won't associate with Asher ever again." Our hero inspects the book. An item is needed to reveal the true nature of the book. The Eye of Palalian is another expensive item. Looks like this is going to cost him even more money. There's always next month. Greed smiles mischievously before starting the appraisal. You have acquired a legendary item. Pagma's rare book. This book contains the secrets of Pagma, a legendary blacksmith who transcended human boundaries. If used, you will become Pagma's descendant. He was greeted by multiple notifications after appraising the legendary item. Kiwak L, legendary class. He celebrates his luck. If he were to use the legendary book, he could end up with one of the strongest classes in the game. That idea fades with the thought of having to abandon the S-rank quest he has been on. Or I can just sell it for a huge profit. I can easily make millions. It seems our protagonist has a bit of a money problem. Student loans, gaming fees, and Greed had to work construction and manual labor jobs to make ends meet. Gaming was the only thing he was truly confident in. He invested so much money into his gaming that his friends abandoned him, and even his family thinks he's a loser. But with this, Greed can say goodbye to that loser lifestyle. It's decided. Let's get this money. I'm selling it. Log out. A notification window appears. You cannot log out of the game at this moment. The quest Earl Asher's secret request, SC, has changed to Earl Asher's anger, SS. Startled, he finds himself surrounded as the Earl and his subordinates teleport to his location. Asher's pissed. The notification in front of our hero says the Earl will attempt to kill him to regain the book. Now that it's come to this, there's no point in biting your tongue. Bullshit. He lets the Earl know exactly what he thinks of him. Not like this. He dodges the blade aimed at his neck and prepares to stand his ground. Stun Guardian Shield. He attempts to use his skills, but the warrior breaks through it, landing a solid punch. That one punch took half his AP. He blocked it. Asher is a level 300 NP. See, you should have known his subordinates wouldn't be weak. From the very beginning, this quest was not made for him. Greed resigns himself to his fate. Only for a moment before he thinks what will happen to the book when he dies. Can't finish the quest, can't win the fight, and if the book disappears, then there's no gold. But there is one option. He drops the sword and grabs the book. The Earl realizes his plan, but it's too late to stop him. Electricity arcs out from the open book, and he's engulfed in energy. The change will now begin. All skills and stats have been reset. The notification flood in as he thinks to himself, maybe this desperate act is just what he needs to defeat Asher here. Seeing him suffer after losing out on the legendary book is satisfying to our hero. This is it. He plans to turn the tables now. He plans to take them out and finish this quest. The change is complete. You've obtained the title One Who Became a Legend. You are now level 1. /ding. You have died. Using the book and changing to the legendary class seems to have reset his character to level 1. Our hero loses his life in that cave. Having died to the warriors, our hero loses 2 levels, putting him at 1. He fails the quest, and from this moment on will be banned from entering the Patreon region. Patreon soldiers have been ordered to kill him on sight. His last words to Asher as he lay dying on the ground. Dirty ass. Thief, stealing what I deserve. Eat well and live well. His body dissipates into digitized blue lights. In reality, we see Greed exiting the capsule. His hair is sloppy and he looks exhausted with dark circles under his eyes. As he sits up out of the capsule, thinking about how much money he could have made, he's approached from behind by a woman with a glare in her eyes and an ominous vibe. His mother is not happy with him. Satisfies Operation Office. A woman can be seen standing outside the main entrance as a luxury vehicle pulls up. She greets the man as he arrives. She is Satisfies Operation Team Leader, Choi Na-hee. As he exits the car, he asks Na-hee if she has prepared the field report. Liam Kyoho, S., a group's lead developer of Satisfy. Looks like he's excited to receive information about the recent class change that has happened within the game. Na-hee takes this time to brief him on the current situation. The topic is our protagonist, Greed. According to the information department, he is just your run-of-the-mill game addict. Based on how badly he's been playing the game, it must be a coincidence he received the legendary class. The main factor in his achievement would have to be his obsession and determination in the game. The team lead talks about Greed in disbelief and frustration that this could happen by chance. The lead developer laughs at the comment. He takes this time to remind the team leader Na-hee that the supercomputer Morpheus predicted that it would be 2 years before any user would discover North End Cave and Pagma's successor. There is something else to take note of, his 1 level. The quest was designed for a user at level 350 or higher, but Greed bypassed that. The legend penalty dropped his level to 1, and since he also failed 2 ongoing quests, he lost another 2 levels. Now Na-hee understands. The average Satisfy player gains 10 stat points per level, which means by the time he's level 1, he'll have 20 more points than any player at his level. Na-hee thinks the balance in the game will be broken and says they should fix it immediately, but the lead developer doesn't think they need to go that far. Besides, Pagma's successor is a relatively weak class compared to the others. But something's wrong, and it's written on his face. Na-hee asks, "What's the matter?" But lead developer Lim brushes off her comment and excuses himself. Mr. Shin Young-woo. Our hero Greed, Shin Young-woo, is spaced out. He's told by an older man to hurry up and collect his pay for the work he did this morning. On his way out, he can hear the men badmouth. He looks and smells like shit. Insult after insult, he bears it. Shin Young-woo sits outside, dejected, money in hand from the manual labor he's done. His first thought was, I have enough for another round. His second, he should be ashamed that the first was about playing the game. He lost out on the millions he could have made if he sold that book. And now exiled from the city, he spent time accumulating rep-in. Could things get any worse? On that same street, a luxury car cruises by, its lead developer Lim. Still thinking about the recent class change, he believes that Greed, being an average player, might be able to work to his advantage. That is, if he can find out for himself. Young-woo gathers his resolve, and Liam can't help but wonder about the kid who never knows when to stop. Now, Hong Young-woo prepares to enter the game capsule. It's a legendary class. He should at least check it out. Logan with a determined look in his eyes. He will find a way to see a profit from this. Greed spawns in an eerie forest wearing only his boxers. Surprised at the unknown location and remembers his banishment. All that time and hard work was lost. He begins walking, trying to figure out where he is. He stumbles upon a creepy structure in the middle of the forest, and it looks like some strange ritual is taking place inside. Men in dark robes chant an undistinguishable language as purple energy covers the body of a young woman. This looks bad. The notification: you have entered the Yatan Temple. Shit temples are usually level 150 dungeons. This is dangerous. He checks his status window. Nickname Greed, level 1 class Pagma's descendant. Title 1, who became a legend. Health 14, mana 3, strength 1, stamina 1, agility 1, dexterity 1, composure 1, indomitable 1, dignity 1, insight 1. His level is really 1, but the options he has are pretty good. Namely, this one. You can equip all items unconditionally, but penalties can be applied based on the item's restrictions. Let's try it out. Greed equips Mammon's greatsword and Mengel's plate armor. In a flash, he dons this Silver Knight's armor with brown shoulder guards and a long sword. The option allowed this level 1 player to equip and use a level 60 gear, even though he didn't have nearly enough stats to use. Then, the penalties cut the greatsword's attack power and option down by 30%, and the plate armor's defense was dropped by 20. But still, the sword's base attack power is 200, and the defense was 130. With these stats, he was leagues ahead of any level 1 player, even with the penalties. He takes a second to bask in his luck. That is short-lived as he realizes the level of this dungeon and surrounding area. He's in a really bad position. Her screams echo in the chamber as the ritual continues. Greed examines the situation and starts to think of a plan. Unbeknownst to him, a hooded figure looms over Greed. A hand is placed on his shoulder, and his heart drops. Hey! He immediately attacks, swinging the greatsword in a horizontal slash behind him, trying to take out the unknown enemy, but it was no use. The hooded man easily slips past the blade. Calm down before you kill someone. The middle-aged man removes his hood and introduces himself. Doran, Earl Steam's secret bodyguard. Underneath his cloak-plate chest armor and a leather belt filled with throwing knives. The young woman who is about to lose her life is the Earl's daughter Irene, who was recently kidnapped while Doran was on vacation. Just then, a surprise notification. Rescue the Earl's esteemed daughter. SEU, rescue Irene. Within 1 hour, clear reward, 3,000 gold clear reward. Low chance, become the Earl's son-in-law. Failure 2 levels. Shit, another S-rank quest. This guy is an NPC. Doran misunderstands and thinks Greed must be there to help in this mission to save the Earl's daughter. And of course, our hero flat out says no. No, I won't do it. Shocked, Doran doesn't know what to do, so he resorts to begging. While arguing, a large rock falls from the cliff they are standing on overlooking the ritual. It crashes into the head of one of the Yatan Temple members. The quest has now been forced onto our hero. With the death of the Yatan believer, he is now their enemy. They rush to attack the intruders. Doran readies for battle, pulling 4 of his blades out. 2 in each hand tucked in between his knuckles. He plans to clear a path and have Greed escape with the young woman. Doran might be prepared, but Greed is not. With tears streaming down his face, he knows if one of them even breathes on him, he's going to die. While he's crying, one of the Yatan believers is launched into the air and crashes to the ground near our hero. Doran is no joke. He swiftly dispatches one after the other. His daggers accurately strike enemies in the head with each throw. He jumps through the air, releasing 4 blades, and 4 men drop to the floor. They might just make it out of here alive until they find themselves boxed in on both sides. Back to back, the pair exchange words and try to form a plan. The bodyguard pushes our hero off the ledge and he jumps down behind him. Conjuring blue magic around his hand, levitate. Greed stops just short of smashing his face into the ground. He's relieved for the moment, but this guy can't get a break. They are now on the ground floor, in front of the altar, where the Yatan believers are performing the ritual. They shout heretic as they cast an attack spell. Purple magic flows from their hands. It's dark magic. Doran wastes no time. He throws more of his daggers. He's just too OP. Doran is easily taking on this level 150 dungeon. Greed just might make it out alive and clear an S-rank quest. The least he can do is cheer him on. The cringy display distracts Doran, leaving him open to the dark magic attack. The Yatan believer plans to use his magic to turn Doran into a mindless puppet. He gloats as Doran is assaulted by the magic. I am Steam's shadow, Doran. The Shadow Blade protects the family. Through sheer willpower, the NPC Doran breaks the spell and delivers an attack of his own. The throwing knives he's been launching around the dungeon arc with electric energy as they cut through the air and anyone in their way. A shield. The Yatan believers are still standing as the throwing knives bounce back. It's my lucky day. A beautiful woman wearing the robes of the Yatan temple and holding a strange staff enters. Guarding this ritual is my S-rank quest. This woman is another player,